talk a little bit about modifying, because I think
Mhm.
people don't realize, sometimes a couple or a divorced couple will come to an agreement amongst themselves, or they think they do, and they don't get it changed. The judges talk a little bit about how important that is.
Sure. So it's very important. So if you're talking about finances, the majority of that is not modifiable with respect to property and how that's dictated in the agreement. However, child support is typically always modifiable. And so you never want to trust that you have an agreement with an ex partner, because the judge does not care that you had that agreement. If they said you could only pay $100, and you've been doing that for 10 years, when you all get into a fight, they are going to be back in court telling you that that agreement never existed and you are going to owe a lot of money.
They're going to come after you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Eventually, they will come after you.
So talk a little bit about the way the state works, because a lot of times the state gets involved in collecting that money.
Yes. So that's called the state disbursement unit. So it's actually a really great tool. When I first started practicing, I thought it was a little bit of, oh, well, my wages are garnished. I'm embarrassed about that. But no, I think it's a wonderful tool because it's right there in black and white what you've paid, what you haven't paid, and your employer can't take any action against you because you're getting your wages garnished. I think it protects both parties, and a payment is just absolutely taken out each and every pay period. It's a wonderful tool.
Because I've had people who came to see me and their children are in their 30s. They're still paying.
Oh, yes, because they charge interest. And so you may, you could maybe only owe $50,000 in back child support, but I'm making these numbers up, but you owe $180,000 because of all the unpaid interest. So it's very sad, very sad. And it's not laughable, but it happens.
But people don't realize it, right? Because as you said, if I was supposed to pay $700 a month, we agreed I was going to pay $100,
right.
And all of a sudden, years later, she said, "No, you were supposed to pay $600, and you never paid me."
Right, and it's so sad when that happens, because typically there was an agreement made because the person couldn't financially afford it, because the child support laws and the maintenance laws are pretty much blind to people's scenarios that they're in. So
when people say that they can't afford it, a lawyer to help them, they should get a lawyer to help them, because they can't afford not to have one.
Absolutely. Yeah. Otherwise, you're just going to end up in a world of hurt and language written that you don't understand, so that you can't comply with. And then in the end, it'll cost you more money.
I love that you point that out, because so many attorneys, you read some of this stuff and you can't make heads or tails of it. What does it mean?
Right.
And so many, and that's the attorneys doing that, isn't it?
Right. The one party to the other party to the receiving party. It gets convoluted.
But it doesn't have to be